Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. So yeah, I decided that I would make like a follow-up video to the one when I said I was leaving, and just have a little chat basically about what's been going on and hopefully ask you something, ask your opinion and more advice on something towards the end. So first, I want to say that I have still been checking your comments and trying to respond to as many as I can. I really, yeah, sometimes the comments make me like want to come back even, you know, and that's one of the things I'm thinking about. So I left off saying that, you know, I was dealing with some things and I wanted to take the time away. So I, decided to do that. And even though I did kind of make a few videos on another YouTube channel, you know, been focusing a lot more on my studies because I'm currently studying with the Open University, which I am enjoying so far. And I've been taking some time for myself basically. And I have also been questioning things a lot, but I've also been seeing a therapist. So obviously that's like super personal, but I don't want to make people think that, you know, you should be ashamed for seeing a therapist. I think if you're dealing with some things, like, see a therapist. You know, if you find the right one, it can be really beneficial. And especially with some of my past traumas, I just got into, I wouldn't say the worst place in my life or anything like that. Like I felt a lot worse than I had, but some things kept cropping up which was stopping me from being content in my life. And I just wanted to be happy and get on with my life, you know, and stop having these certain issues come up. But they were mostly around, what I've discovered is like me being like way too hard on myself, me not accepting myself, me having these horrible beliefs since I was a child from what I assumed or what I was shown. And I'm not going to get into what my childhood was like or anything like that, but that's basically what I was dealing with. So it was very frustrating. I was quite annoyed at myself a lot. And these kind of things played through like before I was on ADHD medication, especially having ADHD and putting myself down for having ADHD, even though I didn't know that's what it was. That was a big struggle. And so that's why medication helped a lot to sort of dissolve some of those issues, but then some of them still remained. So she basically confirmed that, yeah, I'd been through some traumas in my past, and she also recognised some autistic traits within me, which I kind of already like been down that road so many times, and I still have not been assessed. It's a long story. So yeah, she's helped me like understand how my past has affected my life. She's helped me a lot with self-kindness and self-acceptance, and you know, we're doing shadow work next time, which I'm really excited about, because shadow work is basically, you know, kind of a thing that came from like Carl Jung, I guess. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think it came from Carl Jung, and I really like Carl Jung, and I've never really properly been able to do shadow work myself, and I think having a therapist do it along, you know, with you is going to be, with me, is going to be really good. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, basically I was just really hard on myself because I had these beliefs, and you know, I've had people comment, like I had a comment received like a few hours ago, saying that they thought that, you know, possibly have I looked into bipolar or cyclo something, I can't remember what it is, but it's like something it's similar to bipolar, but I think with less extended periods of like being like manic or depressed. I think it's like sort of a milder version of it, and I definitely related a little bit more to that before I took medication, but since taking medication my moods aren't as they used to be, and also the therapy has helped me a lot more with how I'm feeling typically on a day-to-day basis, which is really good. what else? I noticed I've been making subtler, healthier choices, because I was just eating really badly, eating a lot of sugar, drinking 2 energy drinks a day. I'm now down to 1, which is really, really good, seeing as I was in such a routine where I was having 1 in the morning and 1 like after work, that I really, really struggled to stop doing that. So that's helped me to do that. I noticed yesterday, I decided to weigh myself and I'd lost like 4 pounds. And that's like a really big deal for me because I keep trying to like lose weight by calorie counting, and it's worked in the past that, but because of my mindset I just couldn't do it. And so what's actually happened is I've been just making healthier choices, eating more fruit, eating more vegetables, eating probably a bit more protein, and a little less carbohydrates, shall we say, to what I was eating before, not eating so much and eating less chocolate. That was a big one for me. And because my mood is improved, I don't find it so hard to resist things and to do things for myself to make myself feel better for the future, rather than doing things and staying in these cycles of like, you know, things are going okay for a little bit and then going back into like self-sabotaging, and just like I was just going through these like patterns, these cycles over and over again, and it was exhausting. And I did that did contribute to me, you know, putting on weight, and therefore like being the unhealthiest I've been in my life probably. And that's not talking about like I've been worse like through like when I was eating gluten and stuff, but like I mean like what I'm actually putting into my body is like that's been the worst. And so I've been feeling better, even because I've been eating better, I've been actually feeling better as well, so that's contributed as well. So obviously like I'm just doing a lot better. And you know, I used to do a lot of believing what other people said to be true about myself, their opinions, possibly because I was a bit insecure of myself. I did a lot of I had a lot of social anxiety around if I was to kind of put on a mask, should we say. I used to do that a lot, and I used to judge myself for it and constantly question everything I was saying to people, but it was mostly because I was kind of putting on a mask rather than feeling like I can just be myself. And I definitely feel like it's safer for me to be myself at the moment and like around other people, rather than like just hiding myself. Like it's like I've got my own back a little bit more, which is just, you know, something that's never really happened before. And yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit of an update about that sort of side of things, like my mental well-being, because that's what I kind of ended on, I guess, when I left this channel. And yeah, things are just a lot better, going a lot better. And I'm also really enjoying the things that I'm interested in again more, my creativity, and you know, I'm just not suppressing parts of myself that I would have been a little bit more maybe embarrassed about or ashamed about. Like that was a big theme in therapy, like shame and guilt and stuff like that, based on like my past. And yeah, so that's really good. And what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, like my interests are like have always been really important to me, and when my health and my mental health isn't so great, I don't have that drive to do those things. And also just like when you're not feeling great, like you just don't want to do anything really. So that's really good. I'm also taking probiotics, trying to heal my stomach a bit more because I've had a lot of stomach issues in the past, which I'm on a kind of a restricted diet because of that, especially that I can't eat gluten. And yeah, so I'm having to take the doses really slowly. So like 1 week I'll have a certain amount, and then the next I'll up the dose a little bit until I can take 2 a day. And that basically is because in the past, when I was a teenager, I took a lot of ibuprofen, and it really did a lot of damage to my stomach and probably like my bowels or something. I don't know, mostly my stomach, because a lot of my problems were acid reflux related. And then I started having other issues within my body as well, because the body all works together. It's not necessarily that caused those issues. Doctors just weren't very helpful for me in those regards around that sort of thing. You know, trying to fix all the symptoms, and then when I figured out, actually, because of ibuprofen, because I had chronic headaches when I was younger, and I was regularly taking ibuprofen, that those caused the issues. And when I stopped taking ibuprofen, and well, it's a long story, I'm not going to get into it in here, but I also held on to a lot of shame around that, blaming myself, even though I was a teenager, like I was a child basically when it happened. And you know, so I'm trying to do what I can now, and that's kind of like how stoicism incorporates into that. Like, I really like stoicism, how, you know, work on what you can change, not the things that you can't change, and just accept the things you can't change. But yeah, and also going back to the kind of personality aspect, or being myself kind of aspect, allowing other people to see more of my playful side, which I have sheltered a lot because of how people have reacted to it in the past, especially from having ADHD. Like, getting easily excitable about things, and seeing how people treat you differently and look at you differently and what they say to you could be really hurtful to me in the past as well. So, you know, I kind of sheltered that side of myself a lot, and I'm trying to explore that a bit more now, especially through my creativity, so, but also in my day-to-day life, you know, allowing that side of myself to come out a bit more, which is basically, I feel a lot less anxious, which is weird. I thought I'd feel more anxious during it. Anyway, gosh, this is gonna be long. I always do this, but some people say that they like my long rambles, so there we go. Yeah, so I think the other thing in therapy is allowing myself to let some of my feelings out a bit more towards people, rather than holding everything in. You know, if people are, you know, creating boundaries for myself, not letting people overstep my boundaries. And if somebody is upset with me because, say, I haven't contacted them for a while, or they're, you know, complaining to everybody that I haven't contacted them for a while. This is just one little example. And I only contact them due to obligation, and because I'm hearing all these things, and it feels a bit emotionally manipulative, and that really annoys me, and it annoys me even more that I give into that. And so, to creating these boundaries and, you know, allowing myself to be like, actually, we are important, and the other person's feelings are out of your control. They're their feelings, they belong to them, and so my feelings belong to me. How I react to things is up to me. And I know that's not like 100% accurate, because we all influence each other, and, you know, anyway, but just acknowledging that my feelings kind of do matter, and that's something that I haven't really done that much, and not letting people have power over me, and there's just so many different things, that, like, not having to justify myself all the time to people, and just so many different things I've worked on through therapy that have really helped me sort of come to a much more content place where I feel a lot more secure in myself, safer in myself, and I can trust myself even, and, you know, just, yeah, so basically I'm doing better. That is the short version of all of this, and therapy has helped me a lot, and I'm dealing with a lot less issues, and I'm not so moody anymore, because I was feeling quite down quite a lot, and anxious. Like, that was a big thing too. But anyway, so I wanted to move on, so this will be like the second section of this video. I wanted to move on a bit into where I want my online-ness to go into, and, you know, I've always been quite chaotic in that I have so many different things that I'm interested in. I can't dwindle down into, you know, set things, and it's a lot easier for me now than it has been in the past, you know, and it's easier for me to let things go that, you know, I'm not really that interested anymore, I don't really want to do anymore. However, how that plays out is 3 YouTube channels, currently like 2 or 3 Instagram accounts, what else, and then I have all my other different stuff, like I wanted to be a meditation teacher, moving, like I haven't bought a house, if anybody's interested, not that anybody's probably that bothered, but I'm in a situation where we've been looking for a long time, and the pandemic has ruined the housing market and all the houses have gone up in price like 20%, and so houses in my price range are just going so quickly and there's not many, so that kind of sucks, but you know, I'm dealing with it. Yeah, so back to what I was talking about. Yeah, the various things that I've done, you know, I probably have like 2 or 3 blogs out there as well, and I had all these, like I have my Etsy shop, all of this, and so I'm talking to my therapist about the different things, and she doesn't actually know I have a YouTube account. I haven't actually told her that. I've decided to keep that one out of what we talk about basically, but mostly because I haven't really been doing much on YouTube, and so I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to spend my time? How am I going to actually get things done that I want to do if I'm spreading myself so thinly? And that's something that's come up in my life constantly, like spreading myself out over various things, and I did talk about to my therapist about this, and she said, well, maybe what do you think about being a meditation teacher now? And I'm just like, well, you know, I'm not like extremely interested in doing that, because it's not like it's challenging for me, it's not like it, you know, I can't be like super creative with it, and I don't really see me wanting to do that anymore, but it's still an option that's open there. And she was sort of like, maybe it's something that, you know, really served you at the time, but that you can move on from, basically. And so I've decided to let that one go for now, and so I'm doing my Open University. I decided that I am going to continue with my Etsy shop because I love making things, and sharing my appreciation for nature through what I create as well. And so I'm gonna have my Etsy shop. I'm also gonna run my Instagram for my Etsy shop, which actually is now become an all-around nature based with a variety of different what do you call them, branches, which I'm really enjoying doing right now. So that Instagram account is not called what my shop is called, which is Fairy Forest Crafts. My Instagram is called The Fairy Cove, which I really like the name for, so I'm sticking with that. So those things are still in existence, and then it's what to do with my YouTube. So I don't think I'm gonna really continue making videos on my sort of nature themed YouTube, like / creativity and everything I put on there. I'm not sure that I'm going to continue doing that. I don't really see that it's a huge benefit for me or for other people for me to do that. And then I have my other 2 YouTube channels. So I have this one, Finding Your Serenity, and then I have my one that's just my name, which I started making Open University videos on. And I kind of see, you know, yeah, that's really like that's really kind of motivating to me to have that channel, and I can just post on it like maybe once a month or something. It doesn't have to be regular, it can be even less often than that. It's not going to be where my focus is. I kind of want my focus to be on this channel, but I'm not quite sure what that looks like yet, and I'm not quite sure if that is fully what I want to do. I find it really hard to know what I want to do. So, you know, I've not always been pleased with the content I've put on this channel, and, you know, what sort of started to happen was that people were more interested when I was posting videos on ADHD and mental health content, and I took that as being, this is all people want to see, it's just the ADHD videos, that's why they subscribe to me. And I took that to heart a little bit too much, and you know, and sometimes I sort of put content out based around what I thought people wanted to see, and sometimes I didn't like the content I put out, and I just like, I look up some of my videos, I'm like, I wish that wasn't there, I want to private that one. So, you know, sometimes my reasoning for making certain YouTube videos wasn't, I don't want to say good enough, because I don't want to be really hard on myself, you know, it was just not maybe aligned with what I really wanted the channel to be about, shall we say. And so I want to get clear on that, but I also need to decide if I really want to carry on making videos, and if I want to carry on making this on this channel. You know, I have some limits, or should we say like limiting beliefs or restrictions in my mind that don't want me to continue with it. And when I think about it, I'm like, is it because I'm worried that making YouTube videos is some like, is like vain, or like, you know, I don't know, like too self-focused on myself. And I realized these thoughts through therapy. I've realized that these thoughts have come from shall we say, the narcissistic influence that I have had, that another person has had on my life for my entire life, and me wanting to be the exact opposite of that. And the exact opposite of that is something called, begins with an E, it's like echoism or something like that. It's basically, you know, I've made myself so small in some ways that my opinions, my feelings, things like this don't really matter, like to me even. And it's like any kind of behavior that I've had that could be seen as narcissistic, or I see it as narcissistic, I'm like, oh no, we're not going there, we don't want to be like this person, we want to like truly not be like this person. And by doing that, I've made myself so small, and I felt so invisible by doing that, and I've hidden like parts of myself, and just like forgot about, you know, stop caring about what it is that I want in my life and what makes me happy and all of this, and put myself down so much that that's really created a problem, and I don't want that to play out through, you know, me just being like, no, I'm not making videos because I'm worried it makes me narcissistic. And in fact, when I take like the test on narcissism, I literally get such like a low result, it's unhealthy. And I really, even now, like I kind of worry what people think about that, in various ways. But so I'm trying to sort of be aware of my thoughts and where they're coming from. So I don't want that to stop me from making content online, because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to people in the comments, and I enjoy making them. I enjoy being able to express myself in a way, you know, and that's something that I've tried to not do so much at times, and maybe it's okay, you know. So what else I want to talk about? So kind of what the theme I wanted this this account to be about is to encourage people to spend more time outdoors, in tune with the seasons, to have better mental well-being, slower, more intentional living, connect to nature, and they're the kind of overarching themes that I was thinking of, but just to appreciate life more, and just, I don't know, maybe even encourage people to, I don't know, just, I'm struggling a little bit, and, you know, I'm putting my ideas out here to you, and I'm realizing I'm not doing it from a place of like wanting other people to tell me what to do, to validate me and things like that, because ultimately I'll do what I know that I think is best for me and this channel, but because I'm genuinely stuck on what to do, and yeah, you know, taking some time out was really, really, really good, but I kind of miss putting videos out there. I, you know, do have some fears about other people's opinions still. I definitely still have some fears around that, you know, if certain people see it that I don't want to see it, you know, that kind of thing. But I've really got to work on my own self-esteem around that, I think. So I don't necessarily need you to tell me like what you like to see best in my channel, things like that. Just if you have any advice for me, that would be great. Yeah, that's it basically. I don't really have anything else to say. Thanks for sticking around if you're still here. You know, I have things to share, other things to share, and I hope that I can stick around, and that is what is best for me, especially now I'm in a better mindset. You know, I guess also I want to encourage people to make healthier choices and to I don't know, like kind of put themselves first a bit more if you've been like me, and especially if you have ADHD and you've been through like, or autism, and you've been through like trauma that's probably affected you more because of those aspects of yourself, because that definitely happens. Definitely there's more rejection, there's more judgment towards you, like way more than anybody else. Well, not anybody else, but most people. Neurotypical people, shall we say. And yeah, so thanks for being here, and I hope you're doing well. I never said that, but I really hope you're doing well. And you know, I really wanted to make this video in the woods today, but it's really windy and it's due to rain soon. So if it was just raining, I probably would have done it, but I haven't, because I really hate the wind. Like, the sensory experience of the wind is super uncomfortable for me. I don't like it. It feels very chaotic, very chaotic. And so yeah, I'm just gonna end it before I end up rambling a lot more. But thanks for watching. Please leave any advice or opinions you have about what I've said down below. I would love to know what you think, and I will hopefully see you again soon.